What were you the god of again?
Even when you had two eyes, you'd see only half the picture.
It's too strong. Without my hammer, I can't.
Are you Thor, the god of hammers?
Hey everybody, it's Charlie. Happy April. Infinity War is coming in less than a month, so this is going to be my updated power rankings. I just did the top 10 because there are a crazy number of characters during Infinity War, but you have like a couple different tiers of power levels. You have a couple people that are almost as powerful as cosmic level beings. Then you have a bunch of like normal human characters that just have a lot of tech or a lot of upgrades that make them really powerful. So if you are finding me for the first time, be sure to subscribe to get all the Marvel videos. There's crazy stuff happening between now, Infinity War, and Deadpool 2, and there's an Infinity Gauntlet replica giveaway going on. All you have to do to enter that, just be a subscriber and leave a comment on the video. Try to take into account how some of these characters have been changed from their comic book versions. And I also took into account things that Kevin Feige said about the characters or whether or not they would normally be wielding things like Infinity Stones. So just trying to take into account the current state of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, starting with number 10. And number 9, also, kind of relatively equal, but I put Black Panther at number 10 because he normally doesn't fight with all of the Dora Milaje, but like if he actually got to use all of his resources and he were in Wakanda during the fight, then he would normally be much more powerful because he commands that great army, he has all that technology, but for the most part, when Black Panther is fighting people, he's normally just wearing his one suit by himself. So even though he's a total badass and way more powerful than most of the Avengers, he's not quite as powerful as the Avengers that wield Infinity Stones. Like I said though, number 9, almost as equal, just a little more powerful, is Iron Man, because unlike Black Panther, he rolls around with his support system. So he has all those crazy armors, he has Veronica waiting in orbit, ready at a moment's notice. It's not like Black Panther keeps a satellite with a bunch of Dora Milaje in orbit so that wherever he is on planet Earth, he can just call it in a moment's notice. There are a couple technologies that both of them have that can swap that ranking, but only if you give them a bunch of extra things that they don't normally fight with. So that's why I put Black Panther and Iron Man right there. Right above them, number 8, the Hulk, because he should have near limitless strength, but per that vision in Age of Ultron, we know that he can be overpowered, and we're not really talking about World Breaker Hulk, we're not talking about Herald of Galactus Hulk wielding the power cosmic. This is just like the normal version of the Hulk. He got crazy powerful during Ragnarok, but Thor was able to overpower him. Number 7, Scarlet Witch, because she wields some of the powers of an Infinity Stone, but she doesn't totally understand them. She's still in the process of leveling up, so she's unpredictable. You could overpower her, it depends on how crazy she gets and how long you've given her to study her powers, and it doesn't seem like she spends a whole lot of time studying her abilities. Number 6 is Thor wielding his own inner godlike power. In the comics, he wields the Thor Force, but that's only after he absorbs the Odin Force, so we really can't call it that in the movies. You can call it whatever you want. His inner lightning, it gives him the ability to fly. He is effectively a living god in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but not quite as powerful as Odin was, and as you can see from the Infinity War trailer, not nearly as powerful as Thanos, who's not using any of the power of the Infinity Stones when he's in this scene here. Like, he's literally just grabbing him with one of his hands. That's how strong he is. Next up, number 5, Vision, because he wields the Mind Stone, and he actually does kind of know how to use it. Like, he's a machine, so he has limitless endurance. He will not get tired, unlike all of the other Avengers that are like purely biological, normal creatures. Like, they get tired, they have to eat, they have to sleep. Vision doesn't have to do any of those things. So if you assume that the Hulk could get mad enough to soak a blast from the Mind Gem, you just have to remember that Vision doesn't get tired. Eventually, the Hulk will tire out. It'll just take forever to get there. The reason why it seems like he's so weak during the Infinity War trailer is because so many of the Black Order are teaming up against him, so that technically doesn't count. Like, this is a one-on-one situation type of thing. People by themselves. Like, if the entire Black Order teamed up, it would seem like Vision is really weak, when actually he's super powerful. But also, just like Scarlet Witch, he doesn't fully understand his powers. But remember, he's made of vibranium, the strongest metal on Earth. So, like, you would have to be a cosmic level being in order to defeat him, unless it was a really big tag team situation, which it is during Infinity War. Number 4 is Captain Marvel, really only because Kevin Feige said she's going to be the most powerful character that they've ever introduced, but without knowing exactly how they're going to give her powers in the comics, she doesn't wield an Infinity Stone. She has what you would call cosmic level power. She absorbs energy too, so if Vision actually tried to blast her with the Mind Gem like he could blast Hulk, she could absorb that, use it to power herself up, go binary, and then shoot it right back at him. So like when she really wants to power up in a big fight and she's running low on energy, she'll have one of the other Avengers or the other Ultimates who give off energy-based powers just shoot her in the chest so she can absorb their energy and power back up. Like, I need a recharge, somebody blast me in the face. The other thing about Captain Marvel too is that during the course of Infinity War and Avengers 4, she's been Captain Marvel for a long time, so she's had a while to figure her powers out, unlike Vision and Scarlet Witch that have only had their powers for a little while. Given enough time, anybody that wields an Infinity Stone could become more powerful, which I'll explain when I talk about the cosmic beings. But number 3, Doctor Strange, because he wields the Time Stone. So he's a very learned person, he's the Sorcerer Supreme, so he's the most powerful magic user on planet Earth, but also he normally wields the Time Stone, so you would expect him to use that in a fight, which takes his power levels off the charts, and he was able to sort of outsmart Dormammu, who is effectively the next most powerful being, assuming that you don't have Galactus inside the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Dormammu is like the dark threat that they could turn into the Phase 4, Phase 5 villain if they don't get Galactus. But you have to remember, too, that Doctor Strange, being a physician, being someone who is obsessively learned, like he just spends all of his time reading about arcane knowledge, learning new abilities, he would be just as smart as people like Shuri or Iron Man relative to his own speciality, and he normally has access to all these arcane objects, so even without the Infinity Stone, he still has a lot of special power-ups that he could bring to bear during a fight that you would normally expect him to use. So top 2, these should be kind of obvious at this point. Number 2 is actually Thanos. Even without the Infinity Gauntlet or any of the Infinity Stones, he's able to soak a blast from the Odin Force. Odin is one of the most powerful beings in the universe, so that's how powerful normal level Thanos is. Once he gets all the Infinity Stones in the Infinity Gauntlet, there are really only 1 or 2 characters that could possibly take him down, and those characters aren't inside the movies, so you can't really count them for the purposes of this list. My number 1 is kind of funny, but people don't think about it that often. They recanonized it during Guardians of the Galaxy 2, so you can add them to the list because they exist, but it's the Watchers, because they're nigh omnipotent, but forbidden to interfere. So without introducing some more cosmic beings, they technically are the most powerful people, even though they're just gonna have to sit there and watch what Thanos does and watch this play out. And here's the really cool thing on top of this list. So Marvel actually, like in the last 5 or so years, killed off 3 people who were vastly more powerful than most of the people on this list. You have the Ancient One, who was alive for thousands of years, had that whole time to learn how to fully use the Time Stone, and she also wielded the powers of the Dark Dimension to protect the Earth from people like Thanos, which is probably the reason why Thanos didn't come to Earth sooner, because the Ancient One was still alive, and Odin was still alive too. He protected the 9 realms. Midgard, Earth, is one of the 9 realms. That's actually a pretty easy way to explain why this is just happening now, because the Time Stone, the Eye of Agamotto, has been around for a long time. The Aether was hidden within the Earth for eons. The other one that they just killed off is Ego the Living Planet, one of the most powerful beings in the universe. The Celestials, regardless of who they are, what their specific power set are meant to be that top tier level of power. But let me know in the comments, who are your top 3 favorite most powerful characters? And what'll happen is I'm working on my Ready Player One Easter egg video. I'll post that next, hopefully before the end of tonight. Gotta do some family stuff because it's Easter, it's the holidays. But I'll say congratulations to Daniel Vega. You're the giveaway winner from my last big Marvel video. Please private message me so I can get your contact details. There'll be a new round when I post new Marvel. Click here for that Team Thor Infinity War trailer, and click here for the test trailer from that animated Deadpool series. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.